play a complete and solid game, beat the Boston Bruins 3-1. We'll have our key takeaways, including why this win could be very important for the Islanders, plus a full preview of Sunday's game against the Vegas Golden Knights and our Islanders' birthday of the day and a lot more. All of that coming up on the Locked On Islanders podcast.
Your Locked On Islanders, your daily podcast on the New York Islanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the weekend edition of the Locked On Islanders podcast. So glad you could join us today as we talk about a big Islanders win over the Boston Bruins. Plus, we'll preview Sunday's game against Vegas, and we have our Islanders' birthday of the day and a lot more coming up on this episode. Finally, a complete effort by the New York Islanders, and we'll break it down with all the key takeaways in just a few minutes. Thank you for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day and for being part of the Locked On Islanders family. We are free and available on all platforms, and that does include YouTube. If you've got something Islanders related on your mind, you have a question, a comment, a topic you'd like us to talk about on the show, feel free to send us an email. The email address, lockedonislanders@gmail.com. And if you leave your first name and where you're from, we are happy to mention you on the show when we talk about whatever it is that's on your mind. You could also follow the show on Twitter at Locked On Isles, and you could follow me, Gil Martin, on Twitter at Ice Wars, NYR, VSNYI. We'll keep you up to date on all the latest Islanders news, notes, and happenings. And I am also live tweeting during nearly every Islanders home and road game. Always great to talk to fans, interact with them. Had a nice conversation with the Islanders meetup people from Buffalo during the game, and that was a great conversation. Always fun to connect, and thank you for listening, and glad you're enjoying the podcast as well. Let's get down to business here. The New York Islanders played a solid game against the Boston Bruins. And yeah, maybe you got to take it with a slight grain of salt. We all know that the Bruins were down, I think it was 7 guys because of COVID. Either way, the Islanders were still down Matthew Barzal, their most dynamic offensive player. So that doesn't help them, but the Islanders, unfortunately, know what it's like to deal with the COVID problem, and now the shoe is on the other foot. Look, the NHL could have canceled a few more Islanders games sooner than they did, might have helped contain things a little bit, but they didn't. And now the question really becomes for the New York Islanders that they need to take advantage of opportunities like this. No one's going to feel sorry for the Bruins, just like nobody felt sorry for the Islanders. And you got to win the games, whether you have 2 guys missing, no guys missing, 5 guys missing. If they're going to play them, you got to try your best to win them. The Islanders played a solid game. I do feel for the Bruins, I'm not going to lie. But here are 2 reasons that this was a big win for the Islanders. And yeah, okay, take it with whatever grain of salt you want because the Bruins were down some key contributors. But look, let's start with the most basic thing. The games and the end with the line played well. 2 goals by Cal Clutterbuck line, just played solid all-around hockey. Maybe their best game as a trio all year now. Okay, that's a low bar because they haven't been together very much. Casey Cizikas missed some time. Matt March got these guys who were not in the lineup. But even without the goals for Cal Clutterbuck, and yeah, one of them was the netter, but even without those 2 goals, it is abundantly clear that Matt Mull's a little hungry. After sit out a couple of games as a healthy scratch. Casey Deakus, happy to be back in the lineup. Won 12 out of 7 faceoffs. That was a big benefit. And Cal Clutterbuck with the 2 goals. And that first goal was a great play in the sense that Clutterbuck went to the net, puck him, almost to Paul. So reason for this team, and they finally did that. Haven't seen enough all season. Factor. Was vital for the Semyon Varlamov. It's Christmas, and as your missed training camp, and I know he missed during the regular season, understandable. But no wins, 0. Well, God, this one he saves. And here's the other thing about this win and the performance of Semyon Varlamov in this game. On the one hand, early in the game, he was fighting. He didn't seem confident on angles. He lost the puck in his or the puck hit him necessarily. See the puck, he was hitting it. But you know what? He fought through it. He improved as they won in this late responders gave up a lot of shots, third period too. And 41 shots against for Semyon. And yeah, there were enough quality shots to Semyon Varlamov had us very happy that the Islanders end up getting in and that Varlamov gets on track. Face it. You know, we talked about it yesterday. Sorokin is now the nominal starter. He's the 1, and Varley is now the 1A. And maybe, you know, Sorokin's going to play 2 out of every 3 games or 3 out of every 5 games as the nominal starter. But the Islanders right now need to put some point strings together. They need to win, you know, go 3-1-1, 5-1-2. They need to put together a string of games where they win most of them and get points in almost all of them to get back into the playoff hunt. Well, you know what? In the modern NHL, 2021, you are not going to get that kind of a performance unless both of your goalies are playing solid hockey. And this was a big step forward for Varlamov, coming back from the injuries, getting himself back into game shape and feeling confident in the way his body is going to respond. All of those things were just great to see. And the Islanders need that if they're going to get back into the playoff race. They're going to need Sorokin. They're going to need Varlamov. You can't have neither. You really need both. And getting Varley back and having him play as well as he did is a big step forward for the Islanders and for Semyon Varlamov. When we come back, we will take a look ahead to Sunday afternoon's game against the Vegas Golden Knights. We'll break that down, have a full preview, plus our Islanders' birthday of the day, and a whole lot more to come on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Built Bar. This holiday season, grab the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, or even better than a candy bar, Built Bar. It's filled with so much holiday goodness, rich with decadent flavor, covered in chocolate, but amazingly low in calories, sugar, net carbs, and fat, and high in protein. You get the best of both worlds. It's delicious, and healthy. And there are so many flavors, you'll have a hard time choosing. Will you choose raspberry or mint brownie, cherry or double chocolate, cookies and cream, or peanut butter brownie? Built Bar gives you that extra fuel you need to bust down those mall doors and battle all the holiday shoppers. Or if you're just standing in endless shopping lines, Built Bar can give you that extra something to keep you going. So throw it in your jacket or purse. You never know when you're going to need it. Want to cozy up with something warm? Here's a holiday secret. Dip your Built Bar into a piping hot cup of cocoa. Let it melt a little and give your beverage a bit of that Built Bar flavor. Plus, you'll have a nice melty Built Bar to go with it, and be sure to have a couple of napkins on hand. Like some of those marshmallowy treats around the holidays, you need to get your hands on Built Bar Puffs. That's right. They're light, fluffy, and marshmallowy through and through. Different flavors, all covered in chocolate. Taste so good you won't believe they're filled with protein. Go to Built.com, use the promo code LOCK15, and you'll get 15% off your order. That's 15% off when you use the promo code LOCK15 at Built.com. Islanders not looking at their next game. It will be Sunday afternoon, a 2 o'clock start against the Vegas Golden. This one at the UBS Arena, and the Islanders will need it. Right now, Vegas will be playing tomorrow at Madison Square Garden, so they have another game before they face the Islanders. The Islanders will be the more rested team, and we still don't know which goaltender we will see, but it is possible that the Islanders will be facing former teammate for a lot of them, Robin Lehner, as the goalie. He has started the majority of games for Vegas, 22 out of the games that they have played, while Lauren Brossoit has only 6 starts, 12-9-0 on the season, a .906 save percentage, and a 3.05 goals against average. Those are not typical Robin Lehner statistics. And, Vegas on Thursday night beating the New Jersey Devils 5-3, but, Lehner kind of involved in a little squabble there. So I don't think he'll necessarily be suspended for it, although I haven't had a chance to thoroughly examine it. I was, of course, watching the Islander game. But if they rotate, well, then maybe we will see Lehner again on Sunday. But again, that's just speculation. As for the scorers, Vegas right now, it's a little surprising. They are 5th in the league in goals scored and 20th in the league in goals against. And, usually you think of Vegas as a more defense-oriented team, but they are potent offensively and a little shaky on defense. Special teams, not great for Vegas this year. They are 24th on the power play at 17.1% and 23rd on the PK with 79% efficiency. Leading goal scorer, Max Pacioretty and Jonathan Messerschmidt, each with 12 coming into last night's game against the Devils. Riley Smith has 10 goals, Chandler Stevenson 9. Stevenson, 20 assists to lead the team. He has 29 points. Riley Smith and Mark Stone each with 21, and Alex Pietrangelo has 20. Lots of talent on this team, and it just becomes a question of trying to slow it down. And COVID going so, affecting so many teams around the league that sort of take everything. Combinations update of this Thursday night. Chandler Stevenson is the first line, Pacioretty and Stone on either side of him. William Karlsson centers the second line. Messerschmidt and Riley Smith are his wingers. Nicholas Roy is the third liner with Matthias Janmark and Evgeny Dodonov flanking him. And Brett Howden centers the line. Will Carrier to his left. Keegan Colasar to his right. On the blue line, Nab and Zach Whitecloud are the second pairing, and the third duo is Ben Hutton and Dylan Coghlan. Goaltending, as we mentioned, Lehner and Brossoit. And injuries. Jack Eichel on IR, Nolan Patrick still on IR, Theodore listed as day-to-day. Look, Vegas, not necessarily an easy team to beat. They are 18-11 season. They do play aggressive. They are in the thick of the battle in the Pacific Division. They are presently third place in that division, actually tied for second with 36 points, but they have played one game more than the Calgary Flames, at least as of the time I'm recording this late Thursday night. So they are 3 points behind the Anaheim Ducks. Vegas needs these games. They are a good team, a talented team, and the Islanders' team defense is going to need to step up if they are going to find a way to win this game. Special teams also is going to have to get the job done. You know, we had a power play goal by Anthony Beauvillier in last night's game, and Bo, roofed it, let it go from the top of the circle. And I think the key on that power play goal was the movement with the puck that the Islanders put together. That allowed Beauvillier to have some open space and a lane to shoot. You had a player in front of the goal on that play, and that's how you end up beating the goaltender. You screen the goalie, you move the puck well. This is the kind of thing when you're going up against a team that has struggled on the penalty kill like Vegas has, you've got to be able to take advantage of it, and hopefully the Islanders will be able to do that. And then the other thing that's a little surprising is that Vegas's power play, with all the talented offensive players they have, look, they are 6th in the league in shooting percentage, but 24th in the league on power plays. That's an unusual combination, and the Islanders, they're going to have to play their solid brand of team defense that we are accustomed to seeing and that we saw last night against Boston if they're going to have a chance to win. I'm assuming Ilya Sorokin is back in goal on Sunday, but we'll find out, and certainly we'll keep you up to date on Twitter. But as far as the New York Islanders are concerned, got to start stringing wins together. Still waiting for that, back-to-back wins and to start putting together a streak. Vegas, not an easy opponent, but I believe the Islanders can start to get this done. I can feel in that locker room the confidence level starting to rise. And that has been, I think, one of the missing ingredients for this team throughout this long road trip and the COVID and the injuries and all the difficulties they've had. Get the confidence back. That can be the difference between losing 2-1 and winning 2-1. So slowly but surely, the Islanders getting some momentum going, and that is a very good sign. When we come back, we'll have our Islanders birthday of the day, and I have a few thoughts about Austin Czarnik and a couple of other players who either played well or played poorly in the game against Boston. All that and more still to come on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by your friends at BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football season continues their march to the playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the sports action this season. So head to our new updated desktop or mobile website and sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus, and betonline.ag will give Locked On Islanders listeners a 50% welcome bonus on their first deposit. Free money to bet on site at betonline.ag. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports, so check out BetOnline, where the game starts. Time now for our Islanders birthday of the day, and I'll tell you, this one's a kind of a fun one. We want to wish a very happy birthday. How many years is this now for Chair? Well, let's say this. Today, we're finally caught up. Today is the 56th birthday for former Islanders winger Craig Berube. And we all know Stanley 2019 coaching the Blues started his NHL the Philadelphia Flyers in 1986-80. Stayed in Philadelphia 91-92, then went to Toronto and Calgary and Washington, back to Philadelphia, and played for the Islanders for half of the 2000-2001 season. 38 games as an Islander, 2 assists, 54 penalty minutes. After the Islanders finished up his career with the Calgary Flames before embarking on his coaching career. Craig Berube in 1,050 games, and that's very somebody who was more forward, physical forward in 54 games and only scores 61 goals means you're playing good defense, you're sticking up for your teammates, you are not someone who is hurting your team, but someone who is helping your team, even though you're not scoring a lot of points. So 1,054 games, 61 goals, 159 points, and 3,149 penalty minutes. Played in 89 playoff games, 3 goals, 4 points, and 211 penalty minutes. We're going to look at one of Craig Berube's better games with 2001 at the Allen Arena in Pittsburgh. Islanders visiting the Pittsburgh Penguins. Chris Terreri was the goalie for the Island JS, a bang goal for Pittsburgh, and it was the Island first Tim Connolly scoring his 9th point, 22. That was lead in that one, and Berube dropped the gloves in the first period with Bob. Zdeno Chara was on the Islanders at this point in his, when he was still a kid, and he took a in that first period. In the second period, the Penguins, they got a power play goal. Slav Mazet, a bunch of penalties. Mario Lemieux makes the Islanders pay his 28th. Martin Straka, the only assist at 8:39. After 2 periods, Islanders won, Penguins won. But the Islanders add to their lead take the lead in the third period. Dave Scatchard, his 16th from Bill Malt and Craig Berube, our birthday of the day, getting an assist here in the third period on the go-ahead goal. And then in the closing seconds, Eric Cairns, the big defenseman, now a scout for the Islanders, he got his first goal of the year. Mark Parrish, the only assist at 1956. The Islanders win it by a score of Craig Berube, birthday of the day, 1 assist, game-winning. A +1, 1 on-goal, and 5 penalty minutes. So we wish a very happy birthday to Craig Berube. He is his birthday today, and of course he is also the current head pass of the game. Boston's, and I like the way this kid, and he's not that young anymore, 8.5 minutes, but he always, and I like that about the way he plays. The other thing is Kyle Palmieri, benched for long stretches of that game. He played 9 minutes and 12 seconds of this game. And you know what? No hits. And, not a lot. Palmieri is missing something in his game right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Islanders continue to bench players like they did to Anthony Beauvillier, and it seems to have gotten Bo going. If they continue to do that, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Kyle Palmieri is next in line for a benching. They benched him for at least part of the game last night, and it may indeed happen. And also congratulations to Robin Salo. Salo assisting on one of the goals on Thursday night. And by picking up that assist, that was his first career NHL point. So only Robin Salo with Monday. We will have our takeaways of the games Vegas. So make sure your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Bets. It's your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets is hosted by your boy Q with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms. That does it for us today. Have a weekend. Enjoy it. And of course, let's go Islanders.